Rest makes most of us uncomfortable, not because we do not want it, but because somewhere along the way we started to feel like stopping was the same as falling behind. Like the moment you slowed down, someone else is speeding up. Like rest is something you earn after everything is finished. But everything is never finished, and our Father knew that, which is why He did not suggest rest. He commanded it, built it into the rhythm of creation itself. And the reason He did, the real reason, is going to change how you think about every moment you are not working. Genesis 2:2-3. By the seventh day, our Father had finished the work He had been doing. So on the seventh day, He rested from all His work. Then our Father blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it He rested from all the work of creating that He had done. Our Father rested, not because He was tired, not because He ran out of ideas. He rested because the work was complete. And He called that rest holy. If our Father built rest into the foundation of creation, what does that tell you about how seriously He takes it for your life? The concept of rest in Scripture is called Sabbath, from the Hebrew word Shabbat, which means to cease, to stop, to let something be finished and not keep adding to it. And here is what makes this so countercultural. We live in a world that never stops. Notifications at midnight, emails before breakfast, the pressure to always be producing, always be available, always be moving. Rest gets treated like a luxury, something you fit in when everything else is done. But our Father wired it differently. He put rest in the weekly rhythm before work was even fully established, before the law, before the temple, before any of the religious structures of Israel existed. Rest was there at the beginning, baked into the design of time itself. That means rest is not a reward for finishing. It is a requirement for functioning. It is not something you earn. It is something you need. And our Father, who designed you, knows that better than any productivity system ever will. Psalm 23 opens with one of the most famous images in all of Scripture. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He makes me lie down. That phrase has always struck me. Not, He suggests I lie down. Not, He gives me the option to lie down if I want. He makes me. Because sometimes we will not stop on our own. Sometimes the pace we are keeping is so ingrained that someone who loves us has to step in and say, enough, stop, be still. Our Father is that shepherd. And the green pastures and quiet waters He leads you to are not a detour from the life He has for you. They are part of it. The restoration that happens in those places, the soul restoration, is what makes everything else possible. You cannot pour from empty. You cannot give what you do not have. And our Father knows that a soul running on empty is not a soul that can do much good for anyone. Matthew 11:28. We touched on this in the last video, but it belongs here too. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Rest is a gift Jesus gives, not something you manufacture, not something you get from a vacation or a long weekend, though those things have their place. The rest Jesus is talking about is soul rest, the kind that only comes from being in His presence, from releasing what you have been white-knuckling, from trusting that our Father has what you handed to Him and you do not have to take it back. That rest is available to you right now, before the day starts, before the list gets going, before the pressure builds, right now. Here is the thing about rest that most people miss. It is an act of faith. When you stop, when you actually put down the work and trust that the world will not fall apart without you managing it for a few hours, you are making a statement. You are saying, I trust our Father with what I cannot control. I trust that my worth is not only in my productivity, I trust that He is working even when I am not. That is faith in action. Quiet, unglamorous, deeply countercultural faith. Psalm 46:10, Be still and know that I am God. Be still. In a world that rewards constant motion, our Father is saying, stop. And in the stopping, know me. The stillness is not empty. It is full of Him. But you will never experience that fullness if you never stop long enough to notice it. So what does biblical rest actually look like practically? Because this is not just about taking a nap on Sunday, it starts with a daily rhythm. Before your day gets moving, before the phone, before the news, before the to-do list, give the first few minutes to our Father. Not a long, complicated routine, just stillness, presence. Letting His Word be the first voice you hear rather than the noise of everything competing for your attention. That small act of daily rest sets the tone for everything that follows. It includes a weekly rhythm. Our Father built one day of stopping into the week on purpose, not as a religious obligation, but as a gift. A day where you step back from production and just be. Worship, rest, spend time with people you love. Let your soul remember that you are more than what you accomplish. And it requires boundaries. This is the practical part nobody wants to talk about. Rest does not happen by accident. It has to be protected. Because the demands on your time and energy will always expand to fill whatever space you give them. If you do not create margins in your life, if you do not decide ahead of time that some hours are protected from work and hustle and productivity, rest will always get pushed to last. That is not a spiritual failure. It is just reality. And our Father, who built rest into the foundation of creation, is not asking you to be superhuman. He is asking you to be intentional, to honor the rhythm He designed, to trust that what gets done in 6 focused days is enough, and that the 7th is for something rest cannot produce, but desperately needs to protect. Here is the bigger picture that ties all of this together. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It is the foundation of it. The most creative, most effective, most purposeful version of you does not come from running on empty. It comes from a soul that has been regularly renewed, that has spent time in the green pastures, that has been led beside the quiet waters, that has heard the voice of our Father in the stillness, and been reminded of what actually matters. You were not designed to go without stopping. Not physically, not emotionally, not spiritually. And our Father, in His wisdom and love, did not leave that to chance. He built the stopping in. He called it holy. He blessed it. He modeled it Himself. When you rest, really rest, intentionally and trustingly, you are not falling behind. You are doing something deeply in line with how our Father designed you to live. Stop striving. Stop performing. Stop treating rest like a guilty pleasure you have not quite earned yet. Our Father made it holy. That means it belongs in your life, not someday when things slow down. Now, today. In whatever form your next moment of genuine rest looks like, take it, receive it, let it do what only it can do. Your soul will thank you, and so will everyone around you.